What's up, Bod Squad? It's Baley
and Blair,
and this is Boddens Up. Okay, we are back.
Yes, ma'am.
And today we are going to talk about the top ways to build wealth in real estate.
Yes.
We get a ton of questions about this specifically from our clients, obviously, but from people all the time.
And well, specifically social media for me.
Yeah.
They're always asking like how we got into it, personally investing.
Yeah.
And personally like building our wealth in real estate, not even like our real estate business with other clients.
Yeah.
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 So
like I think probably my top favorite way that we've built wealth in real estate, especially in the Nashville market.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously we're going to talk about this first and foremost, is buying condos when the building's open.
Oh yeah. Being the first time owner of a property, like specifically like let's just 1212 for instance, like we got into that building. I was one of the first closings and I think I paid $500,000 for a 2-bedroom.
Yeah, it was like $525,
which is insane.
Yeah,
because it's now worth 1.2 probably.
Yeah.
Which I ended up selling it to another investor friend that just kind of bought me out of it.
Yeah.
So it was a very like lucky situation because he wanted it bad. But yeah, like I still got probably top dollar of what I expected to get out of the investment, you know?
Well, I mean, you're essentially, when you buy in a condo building in Nashville, when the condo building is opening, basically pre-sale, before the condo building is turned over to the homeowners. So we deal with a lot of that with new condos, is getting the buildings insured, and when they're FHA and Fannie Mac and Fannie Mae approved, and for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's different types of loans that you can get when purchasing a home. And until the condo is insured or turned over to the homeowners, typically you're going to just see a better price point.
Right.
You're going to see it like they're pre-selling to sell the building out. So like obviously I love a resale. Like I've fallen in love with the 1212 building. We lived there for 5 years, 6 years,
8 years.
We had the unit for 8 years.
Yeah.
I was there for like 5 years.
You lived there, yes.
Yeah, you lived there for like 8 years, and we loved that building. And that was like buying when a condo building opens in Nashville is probably my favorite way to like double your money.
Yeah. It's more of a long-term investment. Like even though like we have a client right now, she's looking in, she's purchasing in the Pullman building, and like the unit that she's under contract on at closing, she'll probably make at least $50,000 signing the papers. Period. Because they've already upped the prices. Every time they write a contract, they're upping the prices. Yeah. So,
and I know that they were kind of struggling to sell those units because they were starting in the 400s and they weren't selling them as fast as I think they thought they were going to.
Well, that was the market.
It totally was the market, and it was the competition because there's like 6 new condo buildings.
Right.
And so they brought the prices down to get things going and moving. And when she saw those units go under 400,000, I'm like, yeah, let's go see it. Like 388's a no brainer.
Where are you going to get into the Gulch under 400,000?
You're not. Like,
it's like, I mean, it's literally a no brainer.
Yeah. So she ended up buying that, and it's probably going to be the best investment she's ever made. I mean, sure. I don't know if she'll necessarily double her money on a 1-bedroom. I think it's pretty difficult not to double your money on
a 2-bedroom. Yeah.
If you're gonna buy a condo and you're capable of buying a 2-bedroom, hands down, that's like my favorite. Like not foolproof investment, but like it's we've done it 4 times.
Well, we were actually under contract in 1212 for a 1-bedroom, and literally 2 weeks before I was supposed to close, we swapped it because it was just I knew it was going to be the better investment.
And it was the 15 stack like corner unit. It was so sick.
Yeah.
Wrapped around windows. Like it was so good. I honestly, there was another one that
kind of regret letting her go.
Well, there's another one that popped up at like $1 million, and I was like, should we? But I was like, no, because we bought it at 500. It's like, it's hard to look at that and like be like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm excited about buying this for $1 million when we first bought it like 550 or whatever.
But then it's like, why are we not purchasing in the Pullman building?
1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so we are looking at that. Mom and
Yeah.
I'm about to tear my house down, and that'll kind of segue us into the next
Investment. Yeah.
Another way, like my second, I'd say, favorite way that we've built wealth. And wait, before I move on, that, yeah, like I think we have done the condo turnover game. We have bought and sold 4 condos, technically, 2 at Icon, 1212, Terrazzo even. But Terrazzo, we didn't have the same experience because we didn't buy when it opened. But we bought when Icon opened. We bought when 1212 opened, like 10 out of 10 recommendation.
Yep.
But like Mom and I have been looking at condos now again at these new buildings because we're about to tear down my house, which is like like we can segue into the second favorite, I guess, way of building wealth with real estate. I would say is probably, I mean, obviously building. And we've talked about that in a whole episode. We don't have to go super depth into it. Like if you haven't seen that episode, we talked about building your house and what that process looks like. But I mean, as far as building wealth, like,
well, it's same thing as a condo. You're the first time owner of it. And when you're the builder, you're taking it even a step further back of you're literally probably doubling or tripling your money just for being the first person on the situation. Yeah.
Well, in the state of Tennessee, you can legally build your own home. You don't have to necessarily hire a builder. Like obviously we would recommend you hire a builder, but you can build your own home, and that immediately you're hiring subs and you're building at cost. You're going to make so much money. Yeah. Like you're going to double your money on that as well.
For sure.
And it's a project. Like if you have a full-time job and whatnot, like it is a project, it's a process. But I mean, I recommend everybody do it at least once in their life. Yeah. Building a house it's so fun once you're
It's not for the faint of heart, but
in the midst of it.
Yeah. If you have a passion for it, I definitely, like, we have clients come to us all the time now wanting to custom build because, like, yes, as the builder, you have to make money, but even them being the first time owner of that custom build home, I mean, you look at Mom and Dad when they built their home in the Grove, they literally doubled their money. Yeah. And then the person after that doubled it again. Yeah. Like if you are the first time owner, you're going to make great money in that investment.
For sure. So that's our second way is like building a home obviously it's a project, it's a process, but you're going to reap all the benefits of like a payout. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. The third way, my mother will not agree with this. She hates to hold on to a property.
But we've done it.
We have done it.
We did a short-term rental at the beach.
So, okay, no, I was actually going to go a different route, but okay. So, the third, I'll segue there. Yeah. A very popular Nashville thing as well, and of course, like any Florida beach town, a lot of different cities are doing this now. But the Airbnb market here, it ebbs and flows. I think it's hit or miss now. Yeah, but
it was definitely like a bigger ordeal, I would say 5 to 7 years ago. Yeah. Like everyone was buying Airbnbs here.
Half of our clients were Airbnb purchasers. Yeah.
Oh, that's how I got my interior design business going. We had real estate clients hiring me to decorate their Airbnbs. Like that was my niche. Yeah. And
because Blair could get it done for like
I learned how to do a lot of things. A lot of sourcing.
People wanted restoration hardware on a Walmart budget, and they got it. It was crazy.
We did make it happen. That's how Mallory and I met each other. She came on and started helping me, and we would knock out an Airbnb in 3 to 4 weeks and have it up and running. And it was insane. Yeah, but those clients were, I mean, at that time, we didn't have as many hotels either. at that point.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what really kind of took that market down a little bit. But
well, yeah, it's such like a mafia run thing. It's like taxis in Vegas,
Yeah.
like, or in New York. Like of course Uber is just naturally like taken over, but it's like the hotels control so much, and I feel like the Airbnb market went so crazy. Everybody bought one. And it did well for so many years, which I think it still obviously does well.
I do too.
But I know a lot of people have bought and sold theirs in the process of, whatever. But I would just say, like, if you're going to take that route, my favorite and our guys are the company that we send most of our Airbnb people to is the Lease Killers.
Yeah, Grant.
Grant has been amazing. He's a great source of knowledge, and he's always like there to answer questions. And if you ever have questions, like just call Grant with Lease Killers. He's like the guru. But he has taken all of these owners under his wing. He manages these properties, like 200 properties, and he would tell you to buy a 4-bedroom minimum. Like, of course, you can buy a 2 or 3 bedroom, like, or even a 1-bedroom if you just have to invest.
Well, you just have to maximize your sleeping.
It's maximizing the sleeping. So if you have 1 bedroom, it needs to sleep 6, or whatever, or like a bedroom with a den. Sleep 6.
We were getting 12 people in a 2-3 bedroom sometimes.
Yeah, bunk beds, baby, bunk beds.
We have found the most insane solutions to that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
you've got to maximize the sleeping, but what Grant will tell everybody and anyone is like the 4 bedrooms, and in Nashville, if you can get an Airbnb with a pool.
Yeah.
Like
pool or hot tub.
Or a
water
tub,
source.
Any kind. Put a pond back there, baby. Like, it doesn't matter. If there's water, somebody's like, ooh. Because Nashville just doesn't have like any kind of water source outside the lake. And
the lakes.
The lakes are, ugh. I'm not a lake fan. I get so much grief for that. Hate the lake. Don't ask me to go. I'm not coming. But yeah. So like the third thing we'd say, an Airbnb, you're not necessarily going to, I guess if you find a really good deal that's a 4-bedroom, you might make good money on the purchase on top of covering your costs, making a little bit in the hot season.
I would even say, like, look at other markets too. Our market, it's definitely saturated in the Airbnb field. I would say like it's hard to find something that's even under $1 million that's a 4-bedroom that's not, in an area that's so much desired here yet. Like, people want to be close to Broadway. They want to be, in a walkable area. So we've even looked at other markets. Like, we've looked at Tampa. We've looked at Miami.
We had a short-term rental in 30A.
Yeah.
And it rented,
it paid for itself.
Yeah, it rented as well as it could, as much as we were down there.
Yeah.
So, like, I also think that comes into play. Like, if you want to buy a rental property that is somewhere you also want to visit, Airbnb. Yeah. Hands down, because then you're not you're paying for hotel rooms or whatever. Like, it's going to cover the cost the couple weeks you're not there. And likely there's going to be a hot season. So if there is a hot season like there is here, May, June, July, August, in Nashville, you're going to make
so much more money.
Say on a 4-bedroom, you're making $20,000 a month versus November, January, February. Yeah. You may not make anything.
I mean, you never know. Like, I've had people reach out like, hey, we want to come. I want to bring my family there for Christmas. Or I want to come there for New Year's is a huge holiday here. So there are a lot of hot seasons.
Yeah, you're going to get a hit and miss on those cold months.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Past New Year's, January and February, Grant says, don't plan on making any, don't plan on
That's really anything here.
Yeah,
like,
anything
that's
here is
our
just
most
quiet.
dead months as well.
We don't
with
even
our business.
work. Like January, February, we have just gotten to the point now, because December's kind of hit or miss. Like, sometimes we have really busy Decembers where people are just like itching to get moved somewhere new, and like it just happens that way. Most of the time, December, January, February, it's like quiet for us. We don't really work a whole lot. Like, we might have 1 or 2 clients that want to do things, but it's kind of our chill downtime too. Yeah. So But anyway,
We're looking for somewhere warm.
Yeah, we're going somewhere warm.
Like
so I
Tampa
don't.
or Miami, where we should have an Airbnb.
Exactly. Yeah, this is exactly the point. That's why we are building this 10,000 square foot house down in 30A. It's going to be like a wedding venue. We'll rent out a couple weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
But it'll be our family home, and it's like during those cold months, that's where we'd be going.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but.
So fourth one, what were you going to say on the fourth?
So the fourth one, this is what my mother will be like, oh my gosh, no. But it's so funny because like we are not rental people. Like we don't typically, like we'll go through seasons of renting properties in between, building a new project for our family or like, whatever. And they have been renting this house in Green Hills for like a year and a half, paying an ungodly amount of rent, which is just, whatever.
It's definitely a mortgage on a nice house.
On a sick house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I cannot believe you are doing this as you roll your eyes at our fourth option of building wealth in real estate. And that's just a long-term
holding
rental.
onto a property.
Yeah. Just a long-term 30-day minimum rental. A lot of the condo buildings will allow, and like some places with HOA that really like don't want an Airbnb situation.
No, that's very uncommon here.
Yeah, like, but a lot of people don't want it. Like I know we have an Airbnb 3 doors down on our street, and when they were renting it all the time, it turned into a party. There were house parties. It was noisy. It was dangerous. People were drunk. Like it was just a whole thing. And I hated it. I was like, oh shit, like this is, because I used to roll my eyes at people being like, we don't want short-term rentals next to us. And this and that. And I'm like, oh, come on, Karen. Like, relax. And I'm like, now I'm Karen. I'm like calling the police on these kids 2 doors down that are making all this noise. I'm like, can y'all please shut the fuck up? Yeah. And because I got a taste of our own medicine. Like, we didn't grow up around any short-term rentals. So, and it wasn't even really a thing when we were growing up. So it has been a taste of our own medicine. And my mom will be like, we don't need rentals, like buy and sell. And this is something that I think if I had stuck to my guns and looked back on 10 years ago when I wanted to be buying long-term rentals, buy something low, put a renter in it, let them rent it.
Hold on to it.
Yeah, let them rent it, let them pay the mortgage, build your equity, and then sell it when it's time. Or don't like just literally hold it.
Like that's forever. How even with this beach house, like mom's like, well, we're going to build it for this. It's going to be worth 4 times what we're building it for. Yeah. We might just sell it. And I'm like, Mom, I want to have that house to give to my kids. Like, I don't want to get rid of that house. Yeah. Like it's such you will never find land like that down there again. Mm-mm. And for me, it's just like, that's one thing where I'm going to start like sticking to my guns. Like we're getting into that time of building forever homes and I want to hold on to them. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that house down at the beach, like I said, 10,000 square foot, 9 bedrooms. Yeah. I mean, it is going to be the shit. Yeah. Like it is going to be crazy. And it's like truly holding on to something like that rents $20,000-$30,000 a week. Yeah, you're like, why would you sell it?
I'm like it'll pay for itself in the first 2 years.
Literally in 2 years. Yeah. So like that's kind of the give and take on that. Is like obviously that's an event space. Like we're gonna run it like an event space for weddings and events, but specifically holding on to real estate, and moving past the short term gain. Right. Because at the end of the day, of course, like there is a time to sell something. Oh, for sure. It's like we build that house for $1 million and it's worth 7 or whatever. Like, it hits that point where you're kind of like, okay, this is getting stupid. Yeah. But like even the 1212 condo, we bought that at 5 whatever. Yeah. Sold it at 1.3 or 1.2-ish, 1.2. Mm-hmm. And now those units are selling for 1. Right. So it's like, what are you doing? You're going to kick yourself for, potentially losing that $200,000 when it wasn't going to go any higher than that. Right. But honestly, we don't know. Like it might teeter up to the 2 millions. Yeah, you just don't know. So it's a gamble, it's a game, and it's a fun game.
Yeah.
Like to kind of figure out the ebbs and flows. And people call me, I mean, probably at this point every day, and they're like, "Hey, do you think it's a good time for us to be selling? Do you think it's a good time to buy this?" And honestly, like, this is the biggest thing with real estate right now is interest rates being whatever they are today. I think they're like 6 something, 7 something, and you should be buying real estate right now, holding it, and when those teeter back down, when those interest rates teeter back down to the 2s, 3s, because they likely will, hopefully will, but like based on, you know, the past and whatever,
History.
interest rates have been 20% before.
Oh,
like,
I know.
This isn't
a weird time.
Yeah, we're living in, like, it's still like,
it's still okay.
Yeah, it's like you should be buying now, because the people that can't afford to buy at a 6% interest rate, that's why our prices are sitting where they're at. So when you buy now, you're going to be having a better price point, because when those come down, when those interest rates come down, you are going to see a huge spike in the prices, because people,
and it's just going to be a multiple offer situation.
Totally.
You're going to have a lot of trouble.
It's going to be shit show. That's why they're not lowering them, in my opinion. Like, that's why they're not coming down, because if they do come down to the 3s again, it'll be a feeding frenzy. Yeah. It'll be crazy.
I agree.
That's the biggest thing. It's like, if you're thinking about purchasing anything right now, I would tell you, go for it, go ahead and do it, and then refi it out once it teeters back down. Yeah. If it teeters down even a point, like even 1%, but obviously like anything more than 1%, refi. Right. Cost you a couple $1,000s. It's nothing crazy. Like, refi it every day of the week. Yeah. My mom can do that like that. Yeah. So, because it changes your payment a ton. Mm-hmm. Like, if I bought my house at $460 from Mitchell. Shout out Mitchell, love you, honey. I bought it at $460, I think, and then at like a 3% interest rate. Insane. That's why it's hard to tear it down. Like, it's hard to get rid of it, because
that's the other side of it, is all those people that got these 3% interest rates, their payments are nothing. They don't want to sell. Yeah. They're like, it would not be worth me. So I will say, right now, I've noticed a lot of our clients are more first-time home buyers. Mm-hmm. Like, they're just ready to not rent anymore. Yeah. Or they're paying cash. Yeah. So if you can, do it. Because the second that they do go down, the feeding frenzy starts, you get to turn around and sell that, and you are going to make some good money on it. Totally. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's your price is going up for sure when they teeter down. Like, regardless, it's a time. Yeah. Like, it's a time to be buying a piece of property. Right. Always.
I agree.
But so that's my 4th favorite, is the long-term rental, the long-term hold game. Put a renter in it, buy a $300,000 house, put a renter in it, and wait for it to go up till, you know, whatever price you're comfortable selling. I like to make those rules myself. I always said, if my land was worth $1 million and my little pink house, like, I would just sell the land. Yeah. Make my little $600K and get me on. But, you know, we're not there yet. But that's what's crazy, is I purchased that property to tear the house down immediately, and we didn't do that. I've been living there for 5 years, and it's worth $750 now. Yeah. Like, hands down, someone would come in, leave the house how it is, and they would pay me $750,000 for it.
Just do some renovations to it.
It's crazy. Yeah. To me, I think it's nuts.
Which is going into our 5th, I would say. Yeah. Flipping. Yeah. And buying something that needs some work, like Victoria. We had Victoria on. She got her land alone that she bought is worth what she paid for it. Yeah. And we're going to renovate that house, and it's going to be worth hopefully double. If not more.
For sure.
Which we're doing some premium finishes and things to it, because that's her taste. But well, you don't have to.
You don't have to.
You can put a budget on it. You can put the work into it, sub it out, and then flip it. Yeah. Obviously, looking at comps around you, like, there are houses over there next to her that are worth like over $2 million. Yeah. So, and she'll make money on it for sure.
And that's like, we flipped houses in Tampa when I was living in Tampa, working down there. That was my business, my whole business. I worked with an investor. They flipped homes. They started building new construction too, but for the most part, it was a flip business. And I mean, these guys were making
so much money.
Like, and I'd go find these deals. I'd door knock, find these teardowns, basically. But then they taught me really well. And Danny, Carlos, all of them, I learned from them so much because they taught me how to go into a house and see if it is a flip.
Yeah.
Like if it's a teardown, if it's a flip, or if it should be just left alone.
Right.
And really, like, the main things we looked for with that was major foundational issues, not necessarily with the house, but electric, plumbing. Like, I learned how to look through an electric box and see, like, obviously I'm not an electrician, but I can tell if something is like, if I'm gonna have to rewire this whole house, it's probably not like the best idea to be going in and doing that. Unless it's gonna be small little fixes, then it might.
Yeah.
But it was like, definitely when you're looking at flipping, I'd recommend like mostly cosmetic things. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to be shifting with the times. Like, we've really moved out of like an all white box house, I think, to, you know, a little more eclectic, like warmer textures. Like, we're back into the tans, the golds, like whatever. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if you can shift with the times as a designer, flips 100%. You can make such good money doing that.
For sure.
Like, incredible money.
Y'all were doing wholesaling too, which I don't know. I never really fully understood it. I really tried to, but
wholesaling is funny because it's like, no offense to the wholesalers out there, but it's like borderline a little shady because I go to this seller.
You just have to be good at it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you have, I think if you have a network of buyers ready to purchase real estate, or builders, I would say. If you have a network of builders that are ready to purchase real estate, wholesaling would be great business for you. Yeah. Because we would knock on the door, hey seller, we would love to sell, we'd love to buy your home. I'm going to give you $300,000 for it. We write the contract, and then I call my builder and go, hey, Bob the builder, I found a lot, and I'll sell to you for $350. Literally, we'd have a same day closing on both sides. That money from the $350 was attached to our purchase, and we net our $50,000 and keep it moving.
Well, it's almost like a finder's fee. Like, you're helping these builders find these properties, and you're just initially paying yourself for it. So
100%. Like, and as an agent, sometimes we would close on it ourselves, and sometimes we would assign it to a builder or another investor, another flipper. And we got better and better at finding those deals. Yeah. Like, it was really such a fun business.
Interesting.
Yeah. So those are actually, I guess we have 6 ways now.
Is that 6?
Wholesaling is like a whole other business. But so those are our top 6 favorite ways to build wealth in real estate. And if you have questions, shoot us a message.
Yes.
Mwah.
We'll see you next time.